Simon Cowell is known as the most ruthless judge in the history of reality television. For over 2 decades, he has built a reputation on brutal honesty, shattering dreams with a single sentence, and rarely, if ever, letting his emotions show on camera. He is the ultimate wall of ice. But in the summer of 2021, that wall completely crumbled. A frail, unassuming 30-year-old woman walked onto the stage of America's Got Talent and did the impossible. She did not just win a competition, she stopped time. She told the world she had a 2% chance of survival against a severe health battle that was actively attacking her vital organs. Yet, she smiled. She sang an original song about finding peace in the middle of a storm. And in just a few minutes, she broke Simon Cowell, brought millions to tears, and became a global symbol of hope. But what happened after the camera stopped rolling? The story of Jane Marczewski, known to the world as Nightbirde, is one of the most beautiful yet profoundly tragic mysteries in television history. Welcome to our special investigative report. Today, we are breaking down the unseen reality, the hidden struggles, and the incredible legacy of the golden buzzer that shook the world. Here are the 10 chapters of the tragic truth behind Nightbirde. To truly understand the magnitude of this moment, we must first look at the man sitting behind the judge's desk. Simon Cowell has seen millions of auditions.
He has witnessed every type of talent, every sob story, and every television gimmick imaginable. Over the years, he has developed a thick armor against emotional manipulation. For Simon, it is always about the raw talent and the commercial viability of a performer. Making him smile is incredibly difficult. Making him cry is considered an impossible feat. When the lights dimmed for the next audition on that fateful evening, Simon was expecting just another routine performance. He had no idea that the woman walking toward the microphone was about to deliver a profound life lesson that would change his perspective forever. Jane Marczewski stepped into the spotlight, looking fragile but remarkably radiant. She introduced herself simply as Jane, but revealed her stage name was Nightbirde. She had a soft voice, a gentle demeanor, and a smile that seemed to hide a universe of secrets. To the live audience and the millions watching at home, she looked like a typical indie singer-songwriter hoping for a big break. There were no flashy costumes, no dramatic background music, and no immediate hints of the heavy burden she was carrying. The judges began their usual questioning, asking what she did for a living and what she would be singing. Jane's responses were polite and bright, setting a completely disarming tone. The audience was completely unprepared for the devastating reality she was about to casually share. When asked about her current situation, Jane did not ask for pity.
With a calm and steady voice, she revealed that she was currently facing an incredibly severe health battle. She had been dealing with a critical condition for years, and it had recently returned, spreading to her vital organs. She stated, factually and without a tremor in her voice, that her medical team had given her a mere 2% chance of survival. A heavy silence fell over the massive auditorium. 2%. In the television industry, personal struggles are often highlighted for dramatic effect, but Jane's delivery was different. It was starkly honest. She was not using her condition to win votes. She was simply stating the reality of her daily existence. Before anyone could process the weight of her words, she offered a statement that would soon echo across the globe. I am so much more than the bad things that happened to me. The song she chose to sing was an original composition titled, It Is Okay. Unlike traditional pop ballads that promise everything will magically get better, Jane's song was a raw, unfiltered look into the reality of suffering. The lyrics spoke of being lost, of feeling broken, and of the profound realization that it is perfectly fine to not have everything figured out. It was a masterclass in songwriting, deeply personal yet entirely universal. For anyone in the audience who was silently fighting their own battles, whether physical, mental, or emotional, her words felt like a warm embrace. She was not singing to win $1 million.
Presenter, TV host. She was singing to survive and to leave a message behind in case her time ran out. When the music began, the entire atmosphere in the theater shifted. Her voice was pure, angelic,
and completely effortless. There was a haunting quality to her tone, a perfect blend of vulnerability and absolute strength. As she sang the chorus, "It is okay, it is okay," the camera panned to the judges. You could see the walls breaking down. Howie Mandel was mesmerized. Sofia Vergara held her breath. Heidi Klum was visibly moved. But it was Simon Cowell who captured the world's attention. The man who had criticized some of the greatest voices in the industry was completely speechless. He was watching a woman with a 2% survival rate sing with more joy and conviction than people who had everything in the world. As the final note faded, the crowd erupted into a massive standing ovation. But the most powerful moment happened at the judge's desk. Simon Cowell looked down, visibly struggling to maintain his composure. He swallowed hard, his eyes shining with unshed tears. When he finally spoke, his voice cracked. He told Jane that her voice was absolutely stunning, but it was her spirit that had completely undone him. He admitted that there were no words to adequately describe what she had just done. Instead of speaking further, Simon stood up, leaned over the desk, and slammed his hand down on the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained down on the stage as Jane collapsed to her knees in disbelief. Simon walked onto the stage and embraced her tightly. It was a moment of pure, unscripted television magic. The icy judge had been melted by the warmth of a dying woman's spirit. Within 24 hours, the audition footage exploded across every social media platform on the internet. It was not just a viral video, it was a cultural phenomenon. The clip garnered tens of millions of views overnight. Her song, "It Is Okay," shot straight to the top of the digital music charts, surpassing some of the biggest pop stars in the world. People from every corner of the globe were sharing her quote, "You cannot wait until life is not hard anymore before you decide to be happy." Nightbirde became an instant beacon of light. News outlets clamored for interviews, and her social media following skyrocketed into the millions. She was the absolute frontrunner to win the entire season of the show. The world was ready to watch her conquer the stage. But reality is often much harsher than a television fairy tale. Just weeks before the live quarterfinals were set to begin, devastating news broke. The grueling schedule of the competition and the intense media scrutiny had taken a severe toll on Jane's already fragile health. Her condition was rapidly deteriorating. In an emotional update to her fans, Jane announced that she had to make the agonizing decision to withdraw from the competition. She stated that her physical well-being had to be her absolute priority. The announcement sent shockwaves through her fan base. It was a stark and painful reminder that behind the viral fame and the inspiring quotes, there was a very real, very human woman fighting a desperate battle for her life. The fairy tale ending on the television stage was not meant to be. Even after stepping away from the spotlight, Jane refused to fade into the darkness. Over the next several months, she used her platform to document her journey with unflinching honesty. She posted updates that were raw and sometimes heartbreaking, sharing the harsh realities of her treatments. Yet, remarkably, her posts were always laced with an unshakable faith and a deep sense of gratitude. She wrote poetry, she shared her fears, and she continued to comfort others even as her own strength faded. She demonstrated what it truly means to live fully in the present moment, knowing that time is the most fragile currency we have. Her followers watched, prayed, and hoped for a miracle, deeply inspired by a woman who chose to sing in the darkest of nights. On February 19, 2022, the tragic truth finally caught up with the fairy tale. Jane Marczewski left this world at the age of 31. The news of her passing broke the hearts of millions, including Simon Cowell and the entire television community, who released statements mourning the loss of a truly extraordinary soul.
But while her physical journey ended, her legacy was permanently cemented. She left behind a blueprint for how to face unimaginable adversity with grace, humor, and immense courage. She proved that you do not need to win a competition to win the hearts of the world. Her 2% chance, transformed into 100% impact. Nightbirde once said she wanted to be the bird that sings in anticipation of the dawn, even when it is still dark. She did exactly that. She sang in the dark, and in doing so, she brought the dawn to millions of people. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the tragic but beautiful truth of the golden buzzer that broke Simon Cowell. If this story moved you, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Share this video to keep her memory alive, and do not forget to subscribe for more untold stories. Until next time, stay strong, and remember to find happiness, even when life is hard.